and good evening. This is Bob, W6CJX, and I'll be your net control operator for tonight's Papa Great Outdoor Net. This net meets every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Pacific. It's a directed net, so please go through net control at all times, and your cooperation is always greatly appreciated. Before we get started, let's pause for any emergency or priority traffic. Okay, hearing none. We will continue with the net. Stations with emergency or priority traffic can come into the net at any time with a double break, and net control will respond appropriately. Papa System is an open membership supported system in the Southern California area with coverage from the Mexican border to Paso Robles and from the Channel Islands to Las Vegas, Nevada. If you're a visitor to the Papa Sys tonight, I invite you to go to papasys.com and register as a guest. With your guest registration, you'll have 45 days of free access to the Papa System. And at the end of your guest access period, we'd love for you to become a subscribed member and continue to use and be a part of the Papa System family. However, all amateurs are welcome to participate in the daily, weekly, and monthly Papa System nets regardless of their membership status. All right, well, happy Sunday evening. It looks like we're, well, without giving any scores, I'll just say that it looks like we're doing pretty good there at Chavez Ravine, and I don't think we have a whole lot further to go. So if a lot of you can't make it on, we'll make it on a little bit later. Anyway, so tonight, let's see, we're going to do some announcements first, so let's get to those, and you guys can continue watching the game. Stand by. Here are the Papa System weekly announcements. The Orange County Luncheon. Papa will be meeting in person on Saturday, October 26th at 11:30 a.m. at the Fullerton Sizzler. Coming out for a chance to meet and visit with your on-air friends. It's located at 1401 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Please RSVP for attendance and for license testing at 10 a.m. The Papa 2024 Fiesta events. Papa will host 2 celebrations to close out 2024. Our traditional Fiesta Norte in San Fernando Valley and Fiesta del Sur in the San Diego area. Fiesta Norte, Saturday, December 14th at 11 a.m. at the Suma Asian Buffet in Woodland Hills. Fiesta del Sur will be on Saturday, December 21st at 11 a.m. at Casino de Charo in San Marcos. And starting in October, we will have Fiesta Raffle prize tickets available for sale at all of our breakfast and luncheons. $20 each, payable by cash or check. Your ticket will be eligible for both drawings at both fiestas. Please make your purchase early for your meal ticket because space is limited. See the Papa website for all the information. All future Orange County, LA, and San Diego and Inland Empire breakfast and luncheons will have VE exams available. Please pre-register for the Papa website in advance for the event you wish to attend. All this information and a whole lot more can be found on the Papa System website at papasys.com. And don't forget to check your weekly Papa email, and we do have a Papa System Facebook and Instagram page. So check in with us when you can. Anyway, got a few things coming up, so we do have that Fiesta we want to keep our eye on. That's going to come way before we know it. It'll be here. And I think the main focus is on the San Diego one, because I think they can only have about 70 people there. So if you're interested in going to that one, get it early for sure. Anyway, so tonight I thought we would do a little something about holiday camping. And I know it sounds kind of weird maybe, but I've done a few holidays camping. So if you have anything that you've gone out on, let's say a Thanksgiving or maybe even Christmas, but around Christmas, just around the holidays, it's a great place to spend some time with the family and friends and connect with nature and get away from the hustle and bustle of the holidays. Just go out there and enjoy yourself. Of course, the campgrounds are pretty busy during the holidays, And so it's best to make your reservations far in advance if possible. Depends on the campgrounds, I suppose, too, and where they're at. And you can always add a little festive touch to your campground with some Christmas lights, ornaments, or a tree or a wreath. We did that one year. It was a few days, I think, before Christmas. We went on a trip up to Lake Casitas, but we put some lights on our trailer. It was kind of fun. We just kind of decorated it a little bit. And then also consider the desert as a destination. In California, we have Joshua Tree National Park. We have the Mojave National Preserve, Death Valley National Park, Pinnacles National Park, and they're all good for fall camping, especially because it's a lot cooler and makes it a little bit easier. And for many of us, some of us, we've gone on Valentine's Day a couple times, which is not really a holiday, but it could be, I guess you suppose. And I don't know about Halloween. I think I went one time in Halloween, but that was kind of scary because I was all by myself up in the woods. Anyway, so if you've ever been camping on a holiday, let us know. We are not limited to just winter holidays. Please include, 4th of July or Memorial Day and Labor Day if you've been on a few of those holidays camping too. So it's a lot of fun. And then if you don't have anything, just check in, say hello. That would be great. And or anything else you have been going on in the great outdoors out there, please let us know. So let's see who's out there tonight. We'll take a few check-ins. Might start off a little slow with the game, but it looks like it's doing well without us. So we'll just see what happens. Take it one bit at a time, 1 minute at a time. There you go. All right, W6CJX net control for the Papa System Great Outdoor Net. Let's see who's out there tonight.
Kilo Oscar 6 Delta Golf X-ray.
Kilo Delta 6 Lima Bravo Logan.
Charlie Lima Lori.
Kilo Oscar 6 Echo Delta Hotel Greg.
Kilo Foxtrot 4 Papa Quebec Hotel Ron.
Bravo Uniform 2 Golf
Kilo
Hotel.
Oscar 6 Echo Oscar Sierra Ken.
That station just before Ken, Echo Oscar Sierra, could you come back again? If you just checked in, it kind of doubled a little bit.
Bravo Uniform 2 Golf Hotel.
Got it. We got a 2 in there. I gotcha. Okay, perfect. Okay, any other stations before we go back to the top?
It's ESW.
All right.
Whiskey, I was up at the top, but I might have doubled.
All right, we got you, Don. Yeah, I think you were up there too. So I'll put you in after Rick there, because I think I heard your voice. I like a voice recognition a little bit there. Well, let's start with that group. I've got a phone in or a message in KI6BL Tom is an IO. And I've got Rick GGX up there in Santa Ynez. So let's say hello to Rick. And, another, I think I just didn't mention was New Year's Eve. We spent one New Year's Eve that I know of out at McGrath State Beach, close by there in Oxnard. And it was a blast. There wasn't that many people there. And right on the beach, and then we got to catch the roast parade and also the dropping of the ball because we had antenna service there, so it was kind of cool. Go ahead, Rick. DGX, please come now.
Hey, my Idlewild friend. Sorry, excuse me. I'm trying to clear that out, but just want to remind all you guys out there that between late August and October, right now, it's tarantula mating season, and during this time, the adult male tarantulas are active near dusk, looking for a mate, and they, unfortunately, they're only out there when they're fully adults, and then they die a couple of months later. But on the positive note, they can mate with up to 100 females in that time. So, if you're going down the road and you see that tarantula in front of you, kind of zip around him and give him a little break. He just needs love. And if you're on a way lonely road, pull over and escort that tarantula over to the other side of the road. So that's what I got for you, my friend Bob. K6DGX, over to you, 730.
Well, that brought back some memories. We used to, when we travel up through like Cayucas and then on over to, I think, the 101 or the 5, or no, I guess that is, well, anyway, the 101, I think, cutting through somewhere up there, like past Morro Bay and through one of those great roads that are so beautiful. Carolyn and I came across a bunch of tarantulas going across the road. Kind of creepy at first, but then we realized it's like, okay, might be tarantula country. So that's a good thing to know. Yeah, boy. And thank you, Rick. It sounds great. Let's talk to Logan, KD6LLB, to see if he's done any camping on any holiday, really. Just kind of a fun. This is just a light topic. We had such a great couple nets here in the past, or a few of them there, and with special guests and everything, and I thought we'd give us all a little break and just do something simple for tonight, and plus we got the game on. So anyway, go ahead, Logan. The microphone is yours, W6EJX Net Control.
All right. Thank you, Bob, and good evening, everyone on the net. This is Logan, KD6LLB. I need to use phonetics. Everybody thinks it's LOB. Kilo Delta 6 Lima Lima Bravo. Actually, two funny incidents. I've definitely camped on holidays, but one of the funniest things was in New Year's when I guess it was 2000 and 2001. So they're kind of mixed up in my recollection now, but there was the whole Y2K, and one good thing that came out of that was hand crank battery powered radios. I still have one in my, somewhere around here that I got when everybody was panicked because the Y2K, the world was going to end. But what was really funny was I happened to be, I had reservations and I was camping somewhere on the central or north coast, and all these people showed up in Mercedes convertibles and with brand new camping gear, and it was pretty obvious they had fled San Francisco, the city, and were steering clear of the disaster. And they had new camping gear with price tags on it and stickers, and they didn't know how to set any of it up, and it was pretty amusing. And I just want to mention that I went down to Tustin to join Evo and Jason, Hotel Zulu. I think it's Kilo Golf 6 Hotel Zulu. I should know Jason's call sign by now. Anyway, and several other, I think there were 8 or 9, or maybe 10. I don't know. I'd have to ask Evo. But it was a really good day out in a park, playing with radio equipment and talking and getting, to meet some people face to face that I've only talked to on the radio, and seeing some other people that I have met. So it was great. Thank you to Evo for organizing that particular event, and it was good to see everybody there. And one last comment. I'm going to miss McGrath State Beach. You mentioned that, and that was a really cool place before the ocean kind of, and the river mouth, I guess, sort of reclaimed it. I don't think it's going to be a campground anymore. It doesn't seem that way. I guess that's it for me. Hope everybody has a great week coming up. And this is Logan, KD6LLB. Thanks, Bob.
Well, thank you, Logan. And I was hoping someone would mention, I so many things to try to think of while you're starting the net. And one of them was to ask if anyone wanted to check in with a report on our antenna show and tell. So you did. And either if there's any more, that would be great too. I'd like to hear how that all went. So it's all kind of, miscellaneous stuff tonight too. It reminds me of a trip I made up to Lake Casitas one time, and it was there was nobody anywhere except in my campsite, and 2 ladies and 2 daughters, I assumed, teenage daughters, I suppose, or somewhere in that range, pulled up, and I'm thinking, oh no, here, they're not going to be able to set up their tent, and oh my gosh. I sat there and watched. I mean, I didn't even ask to see if they needed help because they didn't need help. They knew what they were doing. They had to set up a kitchen thing and this whole, oh my gosh, it was just, I even told them later on, I said, you know, congratulations, you guys are amazing. They knew exactly what they did. And then they all got books and went and read somewhere. So I thought that was pretty neat. But I was laughing when you were talking about the campers showing up with the price tag still on their equipment. Let's say hello to Lori, K06CCL. Good evening, my dear. How's it going? And welcome to the Great Outdoors.
Oh, hi, Bob, and everybody on the net. I'm just thinking back to many years ago when my husband and I took our daughter, who was about 4 years old, camping, and we went around Thanksgiving up to the Cuyamaca Mountains, and it was supposed to be a beautiful weekend, and we got like a cold snap up there, and it was really cold. I remember standing out there on the picnic table with the Coleman stove trying to boil spaghetti because I had made some spaghetti sauce at home, and I thought, oh, I'll just make the spaghetti up there and it'll be all fast and easy. Now, it took a long time, and we woke up to turkeys walking around after Thanksgiving, all free and easy, and it was a great time. So just wanted to share that, and I want to say thank you for doing the net, and 73 to everybody in the Papa system. This is Lori, K06CCL, back to net.
Well, thank you, Lori, for sharing that. That sounds like a fun time. That's part of the adventure. You know, it's nothing ever goes perfectly well. But I did like the addition of the free turkeys running around. That's pretty cool. I was in Solvang one time working at one of the banks, and I went down one of the side roads, and here's two turkeys walking down. And it was Thanksgiving. It was like that week. It was Thanksgiving on Thursday. So I don't know what day it was, but it was either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. And I thought, oh boy, you guys better get on and hide somewhere. But there were wild turkeys. It was so cool. So I'm seeing stuff like that. And it was just right down in, the residential area of Solvang there. It was very, very cool. Well, thank you, Lori. Give your hubby there a slap in the head for me. And give him my best, of course, always. Let's say hello to Greg. I think it's Echo Delta Hotel. Give me the rest of your call sign. I was just writing down some suffixes, and I couldn't find your name in the log yet. But go ahead, Greg, if you're there. And welcome to the net.
Hi, Bob. Yeah, it's Kilo Oscar 6, Echo Delta Hotel. I'm coming in on Papa 3. And I also wanted to thank Evo and Logan and Jason for showing up with their gear and setting up in the park. It was a really, really nice day out there today, and just a good all-around radio day. But yeah, as far as the state parks go, I had done in the 70s. I had taken a couple of trips, as probably we all did, along the coast and stayed in all the state parks. And I had forgot about McGrath State Beach, and that was a cool spot, and I completely forgot about it. And I guess it's because it's probably gone, but that was a good place. Anyway, that's all I've got for the Outdoor Net tonight. So KO688, this is Greg, back to Net Control.
Thanks, Greg. Yeah, that is a cool place. We went there about 3 or 4 times when we first got our tow-behind trailer, and they just had some really nice spots. They weren't all just cramped together, and it wasn't. Well, what was interesting is when you first start camping with, let's say, a trailer or whatever, you're going to, I want this beautiful ocean view. I want this lake view, and you don't have an ocean view there because there's the big sand dune on the other side. But you can hike up the dunes, which we did, and set up there on a blanket. And I don't think we had any, maybe I had brought a beer with me and had a Coke or something and sat there and watched the sunset. And so it's a very special place, definitely, for sure. All right, well, thank you for sharing, and we got 2 votes for McGrath. Hey. And let's say hello to Ron, KF4, PQH. Good evening, Ron. How's it going? And I'm sure I know you've camped on holidays because you're a full-time camper, RV person. There you go. Over to you, Ron.
This is KF4PQH. Good evening, Bob. And that's coming in on Echo Link tonight. We have done a couple of holidays out there, but in a lot of cases we've actually flown back to be with our family in Virginia for Christmas a lot of times. But enjoyed listening last week, by the way, on the discussion about the fire towers. That was really great. So been a little busy. We're in Harrisonburg, Virginia, seeing my granddaughter at James Madison University, and I'm currently in Cincinnati, Ohio, and just got done watching UC beat Arizona State yesterday, and my grandson's a junior at UC, University of Cincinnati, and he plays. He's one of 18 sousaphones. So tomorrow we start heading east again, and should be down in Virginia Beach in a few days and spend some time with our son. So this year, Thanksgiving is going to be with friends in Houston, Texas, and Christmas is going to be in Phoenix with my wife's sister and her sister's daughter. So we'll get out there in time for that, and then we'll get back to Owanger, hopefully about the 27th or so of December. We have a number of friends who historically have gotten together at Victory Lake for Thanksgiving in Yuma, people we've met on the road, and Christmas they do Borrego Springs. And for anybody who may be interested, we have a friend. She actually has a house in San Marcos, but spends about 60% of her time as a solo woman traveling the country in her motorhome. And something she's done for many years is directed some of the decorating of the Rose Bowl floats. So anybody who might be interested in helping to decorate Rose Bowl floats, let me know. Send me an email. You can find my email in QRZ. Again, that's KF4PQH, so take a look at QRZ. You'll find my email there, and that's a fun thing you might do for the holidays, and they have some camping, and she's got some spots and information she can give you. So this is KF4PQH73 to everybody out there, and yeah, just having a good time and living life on the road for now and taking one day at a time and enjoying life. It's KF4PQH, back to net control.
Well, thank you, Ron. I saw the pictures today there on Facebook, so he is a handsome young man there, and playing a sousaphone, that cannot be too easy. Those are big. Those are huge, huge horns. I only played a trumpet. That was big enough for me. But, no, I guess I did play some kind of where's a tuba? That's a small one, kind of like you'd see on a polka, like a German polka band. You know, the one that just has the bell going straight up and kind of sits on your lap. I played that a little bit. I don't know. It was something for me to try. So, and then anyway. But good. That sounds good that you've had some good quality time and got to see him and everyone there. So it's always good for you guys. And you guys look great. So keep it up. And we'll look forward to maybe seeing you sometime in the new, in the new year. Let's say hello to, let me pick up, Ken was next, but actually I have Don, and I had him, he's still at the bottom of my list, but I did come in early, so I'll give him a fair chance. Zulu Whiskey, go ahead and take it. Or not. I don't know what happened to him. Okay, let's see, we've got Ken next, and thank you, Ken, for being one of our special guests a couple of weeks ago. I guess, I don't know how long it's been now. Really enjoyed that, and for anybody that missed any of these, some of these fun outdoor nets, they are archived there on the Papa System, so you can go to Papa System and then click on YouTube, I think, up there, or you can just do the search box for outdoor, and that'll come up too. So kind of fun, and you know, I go back and listen to them because I kind of forgot like what was one or two of them all about. And actually, when you're doing the net as a net controller, it's kind of hard to just enjoy and listen to the net because you're, you know, controlling it. So it's kind of fun to go back and listen to it and be, instead of being the controller. Ken, KO6 EOS, sorry for that big lead in, but again, thank you for your great presentation on your restoration of the Jeep. There you go, Wild and Willie's.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be here. Thank you for hosting. I wanted to interject on my illogical fear of spiders, based on the tarantula stories, a couple of calls ago. I got a couple of things to add to that. The first thing is, I've had one interaction with a tarantula, and even though I was totally freaked out, I did capture it and let it go, well away from my house. So that's one thing. But the funny stories is when I was in the Marines back in the 80s, I was put in charge, and this was in Panama, I believe, and I was put in charge of leading a patrol through the jungle at night, which I could not do. I refused to do it because these banana spiders hang at at 5 foot or 6 foot above the ground, and you'd walk right into them. So I couldn't do it. So I totally failed on that. So that was failure number one. I failed on that one. I don't know what it is. It's about spiders. But the second thing is that I spent a year on Diego Garcia as one of my posts, and Diego Garcia is a little tiny island in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and it is completely it's got so many coconut crabs, which I consider spiders, but they're not spiders, they're crabs. But they're like 2 feet. They're like huge animals. And so when we go out to do training and stuff, and have to sleep out in the jungle, they crawl up next to you and crawl up on you, and you'd wake up in the morning, or at least in my experience, I'd wake up and I'd have all these crabs all over me. It was just really ridiculous. And so I won't call it PTSD because I got over it. But that brought me back to the whole tarantula thing. So that's all I got to say about that. Back to you. Appreciate you hosting.
Well, thank you, Ken. And that's added, those coconut crabs, they are huge. I've seen them on, I don't know, a Dual Survival or something. They were on one of these little islands, and they had these big, huge crabs walking around. I guess they come out at night, right? Yeah. Well, like I always say, the net takes on a life of its own usually. So I always worry, well, is the topic going to be good enough? Can we, and it doesn't really matter because the net kind of just takes on its own life. So I would want to do what's the craziest like spider or animal, scorpion, snake, whatever that you've ever encountered. But maybe we'll save that for another net. But if you have any more anyone else has information on tarantulas, we can still go with that theme. All right, thank you, Ken. Yeah, it would be kind of freaky. My daughter actually has a little jumping spider with a red abdomen on it, and it's in one of these clear things you get at Petco, I guess, probably for lizards and things. I don't know, but she's having a great time. It's in there spinning webs, and she feeds it, I don't know, something, and so she's having a good old time with it. So I think that's pretty neat. All right, let's say hello to Bravo Uniform 2 Golf Hotel. I think I got it right. Give us your name, location, if you will, or the log, and anything you have for the net tonight, and welcome.
Appreciate hosting the net. This is Kim, Kilo India Mike. QTH is Taipei, Taiwan. I also have a U.S. call sign. It's November 6th, Uniform Charlie, India. I might as well use my Taiwanese extra call sign. Yeah, I just want to share that, first of all, appreciate this net. And a couple weeks ago, I visited Orange County to see my son, and he actually volunteered. He's in college right now, but he volunteered in the summertime to be the Baywatch and the lifeguard in the Newport Beach. So I was really proud of what he was committed to the community. So this time I and my wife visited him, and we had a good time there in Irvine, and we cruised around Newport Beach, and he brought us to where he was serving the duty in Baywatch. So that was kind of fun, and I'm back to Taipei right now. So And also, during my stay in Orange County, I participate 2 nets for check-in. And one of them is that they compete in the mode of checking in, and I got 2. One is a local repeater, one is my open spot. So glad to be in the net and say hello to everybody. Right now it's close to 11:34 a.m. on Monday. We are 15 hours ahead of West Coast time. So thank you very much for the net, and then I'll be checking in more often from now. Okay, back to the net. This is U2GH or N6UCI.
Well, thank you, Kim. That's awesome. Yeah, all the way from Taipei. One of my favorite destinations that I had when I was working, and everyone treated me like royalty there. I mean, literally. I won't go into all that, but if they could have carried me down the street in a parade, they would have. It was just such great people. I had such a great time. Great customers, too. They just wouldn't let me even pay for anything. They're like, no, no, no. But I really enjoyed myself there. That stands out in my mind, in Switzerland, are the 2 that, of all the countries that I had visited during my work days traveling. Well, very good. Yeah, Don't Be a Stranger, and that was probably me doing the multi-mode net where you checked in all the different modes, and I think I do remember you now, so, but probably from the other call sign when you were out this way. Well, good. Don't be a stranger. We're always welcome here, and jump on in and say hello on any of the nets, of course. Let's say hello to Mike, Kilo Charlie 6 East Southwest. Good evening, Mike. How's it going?
W6EJX, KC6ESW. Good evening, Bob. Good to hear you out there. I'm going to assume Adrian got back from Catalina. Okay. Talked to him yesterday on the island, so he's in his element, for sure. Out here, just watched the Dodger game, and Dodgers have won. They clinched it, and they are going to the World Series. So great game. Dodgers and the Yankees. That'll be great. Looking forward to that. Other than that, just kicking back, enjoying the evening here, and I'll send it back to you. 73 is KC6ESW.
And that just reminded me from last night, I got your text message about the rocket launch. I was already outside with a camera in hand and just waiting for it to hopefully take off, and it did, and it was beautiful. Boy, what a perfectly clear night. So I hope a lot of you were able to catch that. Probably, I didn't have a radio with me. I guess that I heard that maybe there was some talk on the radio about it. But, you know, you only got so many hands, and anyway. But looked like it was a perfect launch. Although when I guess the fairings or something came off, that was kind of a weird sight. Looked like I saw sparks and all kinds of weird things. So maybe someone knows something about that. But other than that, it looked like it made it up there, made it into orbit anyway. So we've got 20-some more satellites up there. Just what we need, right? I don't know. That should work out for us, I think. Let's try Zulu Whiskey. Don, are you still out there with us, Don? Take a turn, and welcome to the great outdoors. All right, well, you can come in anytime again. We can always take others that have tried checking in already. Let's see who else is out there tonight. This is Bob W6CJX for the Papa System Great Outdoor Net. And just talking about holiday camping. Kind of the holidays are coming up, but a lot of people, let's see, where did we go? We went up to Lake Kachuma a couple times for Thanksgiving, and just basically didn't even we did the Thanksgiving over the weekend, but I had Thursday, Friday off from work, so we went up there, went camping, and but I tell you, some of these people with their either campers, motorhomes, or trailers, they just pulled out all the stops. I mean, they had these huge. They invited us over to eat because they had so much food. It looked so good. So it's kind of a fun thing to go on a holiday like that. Just something different, right? All right, let's see who's out there. W6CJX Net Control.
KK6 LMC.
Yankee Lima, Quebec.
Kilo
Okay, 6 RCP.
Kilo X-ray. Kilo 6, Papa Foxtrot November.
Yahoo! Yeah, and congratulations to the Dodgers. They did it. It would have been kind of weird having New York play New York. Has that ever happened? I never looked up the statistics on that, but Wonder if New York's ever played New York, but I'm glad it's going to be the Dodgers. I got one station with Quebec. I did hear that, and I didn't get the rest of your call, and that was just after Carolyn, and then I'll go to her. So if you could finish your call for me, it just has a Quebec somewhere in it. Everyone's disappearing on me. What's going on? Oh, well, it's kind of a magic act anyway. KK6 LMC, good evening, and welcome to the Great Outdoors. What you got for us tonight, Carolyn?
KK6 LMC. Well, I heard Logan talking about McGrath, and so it reminded me of New Year's Eve up there, and I think that was probably just about one of the coldest nights I've ever felt while camping. We've been on a lot of camping trips, I think over 50 or more, and it was so chilly, but we still made it out to the sand dunes to check out the islands and stuff, and it was a beautiful sunset, but really cold. And then the other time that was freezing was probably up at, it might have been Kachuma, I think. But other than that, holiday stuff, we did have Thanksgiving at Kachuma a couple times, and we didn't cook, but a lot of other people were sure doing it and offering us stuff, but then we kind of took a pass on that of getting together with 25 people, you know. So 4th of July, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, we were up at Lake Casitas, and it was really hot. Bob had brought lobster tails and some kind of meat or whatever else, and did some barbecuing and everything. And my daughter and her husband came up with the 2 dogs that time. And so we got done, eating and everything, and then I took all the dishes or plates or whatever inside the trailer and started washing them. So I was in there for a little bit doing that, and like I said, it was really warm. It was probably 100 degrees. So I got so warm in the trailer doing the dishes, and so I hopped in the shower real quick. I came out of the shower, threw on a little dress of some sort or whatever, and I hear this woman screaming her head off saying, "You've got a big, huge rattlesnake right under your trailer coming up towards your steps." And so I looked out, and I got on the phone and called the ranger station, and they came on over, and they got the bucket, and they wanted to relocate him, which was fine. It was a gigantic thing, and it had just eaten too, so it had a big bubble in the middle of the rattlesnake. But it was a beauty. I mean, it was a gorgeous snake. And so, but this lady, I thought she was going to die of a heart attack. She was so scared of it. But they're everywhere up there, you know. So in that kind of environment, of course, they're looking for food. But that would kind of shook us up a little bit. But they did relocate the snake and said that they had 3 more that day, the same day that they relocated. So I think that's the best way to go. So, that's about it from me, and we've been on so many trips. I've got a log. I keep a journal for camping, and then I can look back and see what happened and what we did and the same stuff pretty much, and we'll be going back again in December for the next one. Back to you, Bob, KK6 LMC.
Well, we'll have to bring our Christmas lights again. I think I know where they're at. It's just some LEDs. Goes right around the window, but it was kind of pretty. It looked kind of neat, and just plug it in. But yeah, that was a huge snake, and we were fine. I mean, you're on a trailer up, and they're not going to climb stairs and try to come in. Of course, we had the door closed with the air on because it was like 106 there that day. But this lady was just freaking out. So anyway, they got the snake, put it in the bucket, and took it away. And I think that was like the 3rd or 4th one of the day. So they were just all coming out. Nice and warm out there for them. So, yeah, thanks, Carolyn. Yeah, we got to keep a log because, man, just can't remember some of those, if you go to so many of them, they start to run together. So if you kind of go back and look at them and see where you were and what you were doing that day. I'm going to throw one more call out for a Quebec station. That's really all I got out of the call was Quebec. I heard that distinctly. So if you have Quebec in your call sign and you tried checking in, please come now. Okay, you can't say I don't try. K06BKX, good evening, Evo. How was your event today? Let us know on that and anything else you have for the net tonight.
Hey, good evening, Bob, and everybody on the net. K06BKX Evo in Tustin coming in on Papa 3. Yes, we did have the antenna show and tell, and it was good. It was good. I'm really happy with the stations that we had set up and the people that showed up, and was quite a few questions, and I got some help from Logan with WinLink. I got that finally working. It's been good. We have a commitment to come over on the next one, and somebody will do some CW. That will be a good addition to that. So, yeah, there's definitely going to be another one coming up in a few months here. Well, of course, weather permitting. Gosh, holiday camping. I never got into it. When I moved to the United States in 2004, people that tried to help me out with getting acquainted and everything said, don't travel on the holidays. And I kind of stuck with that. So yeah, I'm usually not traveling, and now that I hear Carolyn talk about snakes, I'm definitely not going to go camping on the holidays. With that, I'm giving it back to you, Bob. Thanks for doing the net, and good to hear you. K06BKX.
Well, thank you, Evo, and thanks for running the event today and having that, or hosting it, I should say, down there in Tustin. So great. You know, I just have to encourage everyone to, if you're not getting the Papa emails, and I know there's a few that comes out each week. I usually say weekly emails, but I think we get 2 or 3. But, you know, really everything's on there. So for this whole Papa show and antenna show and tell, you've got links on there. You can just click on your email, and it'll take you right. I think it takes you to the Papa website, but gives you all the information, who to contact. All that is on there. Definitely, you don't even, you know, just like it's all condensed there in front of you on your email. So if you're not getting an email and you'd like to, then you could go to the Papa system and do an Ask Papa, and just let them know that you're give them your call sign, your email, and they'll fix you up, because that's where I get a lot of my information for the net announcements. I just kind of clip things out of there and put it on a piece of paper so it's easier to read. All right, Evo, thank you. And yeah, go on holiday. Yeah, it's like you have to head out somewhere, you know, like maybe to the desert or something if it's in the winter holidays. Get away from the crowds and things. But sometimes it's not too crowded. In the summertime, definitely. Yeah, you got your 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day. Yeah, forget it. We don't camp on those holidays either. We go either before or afterwards, so that way we can avoid all the people. All right, let's say hello to John, K6PFN. Good evening, John, and welcome to the net.
Good evening, Bob and the net. K6PFN here. Not a lot of holiday camping to report, but one thing I've done I really enjoy is an early Thanksgiving. Dutch oven turkeys, and you know, the weekend or two before Thanksgiving, and that way you have a great Thanksgiving, you know, in the outdoors. And if at home on actually Thanksgiving Day you botch everything, you already satisfy the need for a good Thanksgiving. So that's been involved in that I think twice now. That's really a fun thing. And then other thing to report, this weekend was Jamboree on the air. So I thank everyone who was replying back to Scouts and calling back to Scouts who were on, I think some were on the Papa system and on other repeaters and on HF. Kind of a fun weekend for us. So it was really neat. So anyway, thanks for that, those who were involved. And back to you, Bob, K6PFN.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. I did hear a couple scouts on the air, so I was, and I know you're involved in that, so I was going to either see if you said anything, which you did, so I don't have to mention it other than I did hear a couple scouts out there, so that was good. Yeah, it's always fun. I didn't realize it was happening. We could have announced it or something. I guess we also have the MDS, is the MDA, right? I think it is. Motorcycle, well, we had the Mark Group Motorcycle Amateur Radio Club working on that too. So that was on the event with a couple of the repeaters for supporting that for them. So that was pretty neat. But yeah, I like your idea of because cooking a real Thanksgiving out in camping or just in the great outdoors, where even if you have a trailer or something, it'd be a lot. So it's always pretty easy to warm things up if you have to, and do it even on the fire. And another good substitute for a turkey, if it's just like two people, is like a Costco rotisserie chicken. Believe me, it's not bad. You can carve that thing up, get some nice white meat, a little dressing, some cranberry sauce, and I think be all set. You're not missing too much there. But then you can go home and cook a turkey when you get back. So, good thoughts. All right, thank you, John, as always. Thank you for all you do, too, and appreciate you. And let's see who else is out there tonight for the Papa System Great Outdoor Net. W6CJX is your net controller.
Kilo 6 Romeo Charlie Tango.
K6COZ.
K06 comment. Brooklyn Dodgers against the New York Yankees. Dodgers won in 7 games, 1955. Yeah, I was born in Brooklyn, KF4PQH.
Alpha Bravo 6, Mike Bravo.
Well, thank you for that, Ron. That was a good little bit of history there. I guess we could have done baseball tonight. Anyway, so no, this was good. I got RJ. I've got Tom, COZ. I've got Rick as a recheck, and I got Jeff as the first time. But I did get a station, and I heard Tango. So if I didn't just call your name or whatever, and you have a Tango in your call sign, come back.
Kilo 6 Romeo Charlie Tango.
Kilo 6 Romeo Charlie Tango. We got you in there. Okay, let's start at the top there with RJ. Good evening, RJ, KM6AVH. Welcome.
Good evening, all. The antenna event in Burbank went really well. I had about 8 people or so. 8. So I stage all of my stuff to load into the car. Went out to the garage and my car wouldn't start. So I had to do the AAA dance, and finally I got it running again, but I had taken all my stuff back into the house. So by the time I got to the event, it was probably 10 or 10:30. But I did finally make it there. There were quite a few people there, and so it went really well. So I'm planning to probably have another one in the spring. I don't know if I'll have another one this year or not, because once we get into the holidays, I don't know if people are going to be interested in it. So, but I talked to Jeff on the phone earlier today, and he had a good idea that I'll have it on a different, instead of just a different day, I'll have it on a different weekend from Evo's, either the weekend before or the weekend after. So if people want to go to both of them and don't want to be driving both days, they can do that. So, but that's about it. Everything else, it went great. People were happy. People learned what they wanted to learn, and it was a good time. Okay, KM6AVH, back over to net control.
Oh, thank you for hosting that, RJ. That's great. I'm glad it went well. And that's a good idea. Yeah, why guess that we were trying to cater to the people up towards the valley and then people down in Orange County, but sometimes people want to go to both of them, you know. I mean, it's a kind of a fun event. I enjoyed the one out here in Thousand Oaks, so we'll have to work on maybe trying to get to one of them again. Definitely a learning experience, and that must have been a little nerve-wracking when your car wouldn't start and you got this thing to go to that you're supposed to be at. So anyway, nothing like a little pressure. All right, RJ, take care, and let's say hello to Tom, K6COZ.
Good evening, Bob, everybody on the net. Thanks for doing it. Celebrating a Steeler win, 37-15 over the Jets. It was great at Pittsburgh. Very cool game. Russell Wilson came off the injury list and hadn't played in about a year and a half, and he won the game pretty good, pretty impressive. So I don't know what the topic was, but if you're talking about cooking, Cornish game hens work pretty good for Thanksgiving. If you just got one or two, maybe three people, get a couple of those and some side dishes, and you're pretty good. And they're really good. Had a great time at the Casino del Charro at San Marcos over the weekend. Cecil and the gang was there, and quite a few people showed up and had a great time, and the food was great as always. So thanks for doing the net, Bob. Just had to check in. I'm coming in through D15. I wanted to make sure I was getting in, so on the old 9700. K6COZ, back to net control.
Yeah, you're coming in loud and clear. Sound great. Well, that's kind of we've had a few different topics tonight. The main topic was holiday camping. You know, if you've gone out on Thanksgiving camping and tried to make the best of it, or just to have the best of it, it's actually kind of fun to get away from the normal traditional thing. And but yeah, the Cornish game hens, I remember that as a kid. That was always my favorite thing because I got the whole chicken to myself. Although I think my mom cut them in half. I think that's how you're supposed to do it. But yeah, it was pretty kind of fun. I don't think I've had one since. Wow, I do have those in the market. Very good. Okay, let's say hello to Kirk, and we got Kilo 6 RCT. I don't always forget your call sign, but I just only heard the tango part tonight, so go ahead, Kirk, and take it.
Yeah, you did great tonight, Bob. Thanks, and thanks for running the net. Hi, everybody. Kirk and Napomo on Papa 6. A lot of topics tonight. I don't like spiders. That's one. 2, go Dodgers, and I like anybody that beats the Jets. So that was good. And then for camping, I've had a real mixed bag for holiday camping. I spent a number of years as a first responder, which included some camping on the major holiday weekends at Oceano Dunes, and I would definitely like to never do that again. If you like to stay up all night and eat sand and get it in your eyes, and then I did another recreational camping trip one winter Thanksgiving time up near Lake Isabella and almost froze to death. But on the other side of the coin, I've had some wonderful solo or just one other person camping trips. Again, Thanksgiving time up to like Big Sur, someplace where it doesn't get freezing cold. And it's just amazingly peaceful. So real nice to do that. And of course, my favorite time, not necessarily holiday, but to visit Yosemite is in the winter. I like you said, less crowds is better. So that's it. Go Dodgers. 73K6RCT.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Dodgers are on their way. So good job there. We got to follow them all the way through this year. That was great. And yeah, I was wondering about Pismo. I know Jeff out there in La Quinta, they go sometimes on the holidays, and of course it must be just, knowing the area myself after driving out there for 20 years, back and forth up and down the coast. But yeah, I can imagine how busy it's on the holidays around Pismo Beach and Oceano. I can't ever say that right. Oceano. Let's just call it Ocean. Anyway. And I think one time we actually went to Jocko's, not on Thanksgiving because I think they were closed, but we went, I think, like the day after. And yeah, I know we did actually, because the theory there was that, who's going to go out to dinner after having big Thanksgiving. Well, it turned out pretty much everyone. It was just as packed as it always was. And I think that was one of the Thanksgivings that we were up there at Lake Kachuma. All right, thanks, Kurt. Always a pleasure to hear you. Thank you for being there and sharing with us. And I've got a recheck from Rick, but let's pick up Jeff real quick here, Rick, and then I'll have you go next, AB6MB, because he's the first timer.
Okay, Bob, thank you very much. I'm guessing the question of the night is holidays when you're camping. Is that correct?
Yeah, kind of the perfect example is like, I even spent a Thanksgiving in a tent once, and it was horrible because it was one of those blue canvas tents back in those days, and man, everything looked, the turkey looked sick. It was like a gray color. It was horrible. But, something like that, just going out camping and doing something different on a holiday. Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, yeah, I've never been on a holiday, but I do have a story about being cold. We were camping near Santa Cruz and in Sunset Beach, which is normally a pretty good place to camp and weather-wise and everything. And this was in July, and the marine layer came in and basically kind of sat almost right on top of the campground. And we were at, it was cold, it was damp. Only time it was really warm is when I got into at night when we climbed in our sleeping bag and warmed each other up and that. So what happened was, I said, let's go into town and get a meal at this one restaurant we really liked. And Wilfred said, sure. And so we went in there, and I'm sitting at the table, and my legs felt funny. And I'm thinking, why do my legs felt funny? Then I realized they were warm for about the first time, really warm then since we were doing that camping. I looked at her, I said, we're camping, we're camping. We're going to pack up and move out today. I'm not going to freeze anymore. And she says, I'm with you. Let's do it. So we got back to the campground. And I never enjoyed packing up from a camping trip as much as I did that one. We got in the car, turned the heat on, went back to lived out there in the East Bay, which is in the hills, over the hills in the valley, and it was about 90 degrees there, and that felt so good. And so we warmed up, and then we actually were going up north to go somewhere else and up there and then stay overnight in a bed and breakfast and that. And so we got there, and that was definitely not cold, but it wasn't hot either, just beautiful temperatures. And anyway, so that's my story of that, but I've never enjoyed packing up so much as I did that one time. So back to you, Bob, AB6MB.
Well, great story. It's no matter how much you prepare, you might have, the warmest sleeping bag, down bag, coats and stuff, and depending on the humidity, I guess, or the dampness, and I know sometimes it gets kind of damp, especially when the marine layer comes in. It just chills you to the bone. So I could feel it as you were telling the story. And then when you said I felt that my legs were warm for the first time, and it's like you could actually probably feel your legs because they weren't frozen. Oh, man, I know. There's nothing worse than really being cold. All right. Well, thank you, Jeff. Thanks for sharing that. That was a good one. Like I said, the net kind of takes a life of its own. It just let it go, and we have fun. Rick, DGX, my good friend up in Santa Ynez. Go ahead, Rick, with your recheck.
Thank you, Bob. And yeah, your nets are very fun, the way they could kind of move around. And so I just had to recheck after first hearing one guy talking about the banana spiders, and cool story. And also, thank you for your service, sir. You was a soldier. And then a Caroline story about rattlesnakes. So real quick, I got dozens of rattlesnake stories, but one day I flipped open the hood of my tractor, and there's bright sunshine outside, and underneath the hood it's shaded, and I couldn't quite make out what I was looking at, so I leaned my face way in, and it looked like foxtails in a circle, all like wound up on the top of my tractor's motor, and I was thinking like, that's kind of odd. What are they doing? And then I realized that's not foxtails. It's the back of a huge rattlesnake, and my face was about 1.5 feet from it. And if you get hit in the face or the upper body, there's a category for that kind of a rattlesnake bite, and you're almost certainly going to die, probably pretty quick, and won't be pleasant. But so I escaped that guy that day. I like slammed that hood down, and then I stepped back, and then that snake came out of there. He was angry. He was hissing. He made me scared. And I they talk about, like what, evacuating a snake out of the area. Well, he evacuated me. Man, I had to scoot. And then another time, I got into my Bobcat tractor, and I'm like, firing it up, all's good and stuff. And then I look on the floor, and there's a baby rattlesnake. And fortunately, he had expired. He died because he was inside the cab, and it wasn't a good environment for a snake. And those baby rattlesnakes are very, very deadly. They're more deadly than the grown-up rattlesnakes. So, dang, they're all over the place. And so between spiders and rattlesnakes, I had to reach out. But one quick thing, that spider that the guy was talking about there, the banana spider, well, some of those spiders can form silk that is stronger than Kevlar, the fiber used to make bulletproof vests. So maybe someday we're going to make some cool industry, make super strong rope or something out of the spider's silk. But thanks for letting me recheck in, and thank you so much for such a fun net every weekend. KO60 Jack 73 all.
Well, thank you, Rick, for being my biggest fan. I like that. When Ken was talking about going through the jungle, I was getting some creepy thoughts too, and especially at night. I mean, I'm sure they had lights of some kind, headlamps or flashlights, but it doesn't matter. That's when the spiders come out. If you ever go outside at night, and usually it's because I'm waiting for a rocket launch or something, but I'll go out there with a flashlight and start looking like under the chairs, and there's black widows underneath the chairs, and these are chairs that we sit in all the time. And it's kind of scary because you think, well, wait a minute, I'm sitting in that chair and there's black widows. You don't see them during the day, they come out at night. So it's kind of fun to take a well, I don't know how fun it is, but it's kind of interesting to if you're not into spiders, I don't suggest it, but take a flashlight and go out to outside and look up in your eaves and just, I don't know, around wood piles or something. I'm sure Rick's got plenty of hiding places for spiders and snakes up there. So anyway, good stuff. Yeah, really good stuff. Like I said, it kind of turns into, the net just goes where it goes, and I just let it go. It's kind of like a river. Let it flow. So let's see. I guess anybody that we might have missed, we're at the bottom of our list here, so I apologize if I didn't call you back, but you're welcome to check in again. This is Bob, W6CX for the Papa System Great Outdoor Net.
November 6, Alpha, Quebec, Dale.
Foxtrot Golf Whiskey.
6, PTZ, Mark, Papa 9.
Well, there you go. Just added 3 more. We actually made it all the way to the bottom of the page, so we got like 21. That's a good, with a recheck, but that's the same thing, pretty much. Anyway, good to hear Dale out there, and I got Steve and I got Mark. So let's start off with Dale, N6AQQ. Good evening, Dale. And you got to let me know, did you ever get your weather station fixed?
No, not yet. I'm going to do that tomorrow. So I don't know what the temperature is. Anyway, I guess the topic's holiday camping. I haven't done any holiday camping. And then something about rattlesnakes. I've got a rattlesnake story. I had a rattlesnake in my barn.
when I had a ranch in Fenway Capistrano. It bit my horse on the nose. It was a baby rattler, and so my horse got a huge, I've never seen a horse's head swell up so much. But anyway, he had to go to the hospital. They had a horse ambulance to take him to the hospital. And he was pretty bad off, almost died, but he ended up going through. And I'm shrinking the story. There's more to it than that. But anyway, back to that NSAQQ. Thanks for doing it.
Wow, a horse getting bit by, well, I've heard of that happening, but maybe not on the face or the nose. That's a miraculous that he or she made it through. And I was just thinking about vets in general. I mean, they're just for an animal, a dog or a cat is just outrageous. Can imagine with a horse, unless they give you some kind of a break or you have pet insurance is kind of a big deal these days. That's our daughter has insurance on their dog, and it's paid off. He's had a couple surgeries. He's had to have things removed, and definitely works whatever they pay per month. But I think it's a pretty good idea because they can really take you for a loop there. All right, well, a good deal. Yeah, we'll work on getting that temperature. I upgraded my basically a clock, a huge clock that I can see in the shack here, and it says it's 71 in the shack. So it doesn't give me the outdoor temperature anymore. So I can't really compete with that, except it's 71 in the shack. So we'll take it at that. Let's say hello to Steve, WA6FGW. Good evening, Steve.
Okay, first off, go to high power. I almost forgot.
Yeah, you're making it through.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Normally have that taken care of. I totally missed it. WA6 Foxtrot Golf Whiskey here, and love the animal stories. That's some great listening. Keep it coming, guys. I'm sure there's more people with some stories out there. The closest I have is how would you say it? Waking up by the snorting of one of the brown bears of Yosemite, who was kind of checking out. How would you say it? If there was any food or something to be had, and clanked some pans, and he went running away. But literally just a couple feet away. As far as holidays go, our backpacking group pretty much avoided any of the major holidays, Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving and whatnot. But we did try to take advantage of the extra day from like a Monday holiday type of thing. And that always made it much easier for most of us. We're having an extra day on the trail that we didn't have to worry about not getting paid for. It did make sense. But anyway, that was about it. So thanks for doing the net. Back to you, Bob, WA6FGW.
Yeah, it is kind of neat how you start the net out with one topic, and I always encourage other things to come in too. I just was kind of digging on this one, digging deep. Find out holiday camping, but actually something popped up, I guess, on Google or whatever, and it said holiday camping. So I thought, that's a good topic. Been on a few camping trips myself. I think like Thanksgiving's like one of the best because some people get the 4 days off. I know I used to, and then otherwise I would just take the Friday off. But you can kind of go, what we did up to Kachuma, we went on Thursday, Friday, and then when you leave on Saturday when everyone else is coming in, unless they were there for the 4 days, and then we'd go home and make Thanksgiving dinner. So it's like going to get the best of both worlds. But it really wasn't that crowded. You think of it, a lot of places being really crowded on the holidays, but not too bad. But you never know. Now that COVID's over and all those kind of things, it's probably a lot more crowded for sure. Well, that sounds good. We're hopefully to make it to Yosemite next week, so maybe we'll see a couple bears while we're there, and hopefully it doesn't snow. because unlike Kirk, I don't think, was it Kirk? Well, he likes to go there in the wintertime. Yeah, snow, so I think we'll pass on that one. Let's say hello to Mark, K6PTZ. Good evening, Mark, and thanks again, Steve. And go ahead, Mark, with anything you have for the net. Welcome.
Well, hello, Bob, and everyone on the net. This is Mark, K6PTZ, currently in Vista on Papa 9 on Anytone HT. Well, I have to say there, Bob, what comes to mind for me is Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving at Ocotillo Wells. It is probably one of the most busiest days of the year out there. It gets packed, definitely crowded with lots of people. But, you know, my wife, she's really not into going out to the desert for Thanksgiving. However, it's definitely a big event. Lots of people go out there and they usually do the deep fried turkey thing, which is really, really one of my favorite tasting turkeys. Comes out pretty tender and pretty crispy there. However, it can be dangerous. For myself, on Thanksgiving, I like to get the butterball turkey breast from Costco, and what I do is I get the Creole seasonings, the butter seasonings flavor, and I inject the breast, and then I use a rub on there, and then I smoke it low and slow for about 4 hours with usually some cherry wood, and it comes out tender and juicy. It's really good. And that's what I have. Thanks, Bob, for doing that. K6PTZ.
Wow, that was perfect. Thanksgiving turkey, and you described that perfectly. You're making me hungry. I love turkey. It's one of my favorite things. I mean, I love all the Italian cold cuts too, but usually I'll go for a turkey sandwich, or if I'm just making a sandwich at home, I'll just get some good deli turkey, I guess, you know, not the too processed stuff. But anyway, that sounds really amazing. I might have to look into that myself. I just don't have any cherry wood. I used to. I think Tom gave me some one time. But I can put it on the smoker. That sounds really, really good. All right. Now, I was going to ask you real quick if you're still there, Mark. In the Ocotillo Wells, I remember going out there from, I lived in Idlewild, so it was just down the hill. But did you guys ever go there for riding motorcycles, or was it just camping? And I guess what I was thinking of, too, when you talked about the deep frying turkey, you could probably be in a better place to have something go wrong if you was going to, because you don't have the house to burn down. Go ahead.
K6PTZ. Absolutely, Bob. Yeah. Usually four-wheeling. Off-roading out there, I got my F-150 Super Crew Lariat 4x4. I take that out there with a group, and we do some off-roading. You know, ham radio and off-roading. Doesn't get much better than that. Yeah, and as for the deep-fried turkeys, probably one of the best tasting turkey I've ever had, because, as you know, seals in those juices, so it's crispy there, and then you get that really juicy tender in the center. So one of the best turkeys that I've had. But yeah, the turkey breast that I get from Costco, the butterball, definitely. Ever since I did that, I've not gone back to the full bird, because I actually was able to get more meat off the breast than the full bird. And usually I'll do one or two of them. So yeah, I definitely highly recommend it. Thanks, Bob. K6PTZ.
Yeah, and that Creole seasoning sounds really good too, injecting that in there. It did remind me, I don't know why I forgot about this too, but we used to, back in my motorcycle days, off-roading dirt bikes, we used to go to down towards Temecula, a place called Butterfield Country, or Rancho, California, and I'm sure it's just a big subdivision now with houses everywhere. But one time that was kind of our go-to spot on every holiday, literally every holiday, whether it be Easter break, Thanksgiving or whatever, we went there any chance we got to go camping with our trailer, and then we had our motorcycles, my dad and I, and then we had our friends that had motorcycles too. So love that. That was a big part of my life back in the late 60s, I guess it was. W6CJX for the Papa System Great Outdoor Net. And let's throw out one more last call. See if there's anybody. I have no more room on my logbook, but I can make room somewhere. And we'll put you down and see what you got for the net tonight. So last call. Let's do it.
Kilo Alpha 6, Delta Italy. It's KA6TII, Scott on Papa 9.
All right, we got Scott. Is it KA6? DII. I think that's what I got. I remember you from before. I was jotting down your call sign on the other page over here because I ran out of room. Anyway, good evening, Scott, and welcome.
I heard turkey and Ocotillo wells and motorcycles, and I just couldn't resist because, you know, the season's coming back around for both or all of that, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually catching the tail end of the net tonight, so I didn't really catch the topic, but I did hear some really good stuff that I like to eat and go do. So that sounds great, guys. KA6DII, turning it back to net control.
Well, I'm glad you made it back in. Yeah, we kind of just had a mishmash. I think it was holiday camping, but, you know, like Thanksgiving and any of the holidays, I suppose. I think Thanksgiving's one of the best, though, because you got maybe the 4 days, and you can kind of, you know, do something with either cook your turkey or something and bring it, because it's kind of hard to do all that, even if you have a nice trailer or motorhome. It's kind of nice to have it prepared. And ride some motorcycles or dirt bikes and all that good stuff. Yeah, I spent a lot of time at Ocotillo Wells, definitely. Any place where we could ride we went, so it was definitely fun. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and close the net. I really appreciate all the stations checking in tonight. We did a full page, which, we had last week. We had our guest speaker, Ray, did a really fantastic job, and with the fire tower. And like I said, if you missed it, or if you want to listen to it again, it's out there on the archives in the Papa System website. But definitely was a fun net, and so we didn't have as many check-ins. That's why I wanted to do a little more of a check-in net tonight than have a speaker and stuff. So it's all good, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. And thanks Cecil and the whole tech team that take care of everything on the mountaintops, behind the scenes, the computers and everything, and of course all of our great net controllers who volunteer their time to be here on the radio for you. So, I mean, we wouldn't do it if we didn't love it, so we do. And look forward to having everybody back again. Have a great week ahead. Tomorrow night we do have the DMR net at 8 p.m., talk group 31078, I think. 78 or 77. You can look that up. And, yeah, definitely check your emails. If you're not getting them, let someone know through the Ask Papa. They're on the Papa System website, because everything's there, and that really kind of tells you all about all the events that we got coming up. And of course, check out the door prizes. I think Cecil said last night something like $14,000 worth of door prizes for the two Fiestas. And your ticket, if you buy one, it was good at both places. So if it doesn't get picked at the first Fiesta, it could get picked at the second one. I'm not guaranteeing anything. Anyway, have a great week ahead. And like I said, I enjoyed it very much, and I'll return the system back to normal amateur use. This is Bob, W6CJX, closing the net at 2126.